It would help if I went live and was ready to go live. Okay. Great to know I'm still very stupid. What the fuck? I need to make sure my mic is in the right position, otherwise I will get annihilated. Chains will physically come to my house and beat me over the head with a brick if my mic is not in the right position. How do I? Okay, great. I now need to close my door. Great fun. Can't even have airflow. God damn. What's the point if I can't even have airflow? Anyway, yeah, that's because I have damage everywhere. You were awake 30 minutes. Okay, you were awake 30 minutes before the race. I thought that you would be awake at a normal time, and you decided to go to sleep knowing that there was a race. And so I woke you up because you're supposed to be racing right now. Who cares if it's preseason? Me. Bro, shut up. Just wake up. Not that hard. Get real. Yeah, it probably doesn't help that my mic will pick up every single movement I make. Like, you know how when we're in party with Joe, it will pick up his feet moving? It will, my mic, when I'm streaming on Xbox, will literally pick up me if I, my blood will flow slightly too loud, and it will get picked up. Joe, you always be eating pot noodle, Joe. You always be eating pot noodle, I swear. Is the session gonna start or what? I can't commentate on anything if like. What do you mean session will start? What the fuck? Okay, great game. Great game. I love it. This is what I spend all of my time doing. I sit down and I watch this game break. Not a single day in the history of F123 where the game will work. I love it. You do spend all of your time sleeping. You don't even practice for anything. You could be in a title fight and you don't practice. I'm gonna be honest, Joe. I don't think anyone's done Imola since PLR did it. It's just not a track that you race at. Actually, I can't hear the game. One sec. You've raced every time at CBRL Imola, and you've missed the podium both times. You keep off track limits, you'd have 2 podiums already. Yeah, we're watching Falov on his outlap. But I'm gonna be honest, if you don't manage to get a podium in the entirety of D2, I think you should just retire from the game. You should uninstall it. You should switch to RuneScape Classic. Because very clearly you'll just farming points at that point. It's actually a decent car. This is McLaren behind Sierra Smoky. So on so I don't know. Great fun, but we are going to watch them on the hot lap because they're going to be the first one to start a lap. Quite obvious, quite obvious. It would help if I've done anything in the history of ever that involves commentary in the past. I think last time I commentated was Kota, so bear with me here. Going to stand where we see Sierra Smoky taking a very tight line through the curbs, but that's what you want to do at Imola. And I cannot speak English, so I'm just not going to even try and do that. I'm just going to critique the lap because I don't care. Yeah, nah. That's not what you want to do. Hear me breathe. Okay? Just deal with it. Like, just deal with it. I can't do much about it because my mic will continually suck ass regardless of what I do. So, yeah. It's 51.0 good at Imola. I mean, this lap's already been binned off by the Sector 1. That second chicane was not optimal. considering they nearly bent the car. So we'll just have to have a look at the time at the end of it. But I don't really predict it'll be a good lap. As a matter of fact, it's invalid, so I'm just going to switch back to Fluff. So Fluff will come across the line set at 114.9. Yeah, nah, that's a bit quick, that's a bit quick, you know. Joe 7 in the background with a 15.6. Next across the line, it will be Sorio in the Alfa Romeo, the invalidated lap, so it goes into the pit lane instead. And then next up will be the other Alfa Romeo of Ollie, across the line with a 31.3. Lap was binned off, so it's the next actual lap we care about will be Russell in the Aston Martin, and it's a 24.8, which I assume was invalid. And so now we see the Merc of Griever coming across the line with an invalidated lap. Okay, great job, Griever. Is anyone going to set a valid lap? Okay, Joe's on Inter's Championship and he's invalid. Jesus Christ. Let's finish the lap like. Okay. Alu, 19.4. At least that was something to look at. We've got Pasek back here. 17.3. So, of the 4 laps that are valid, there's a gap of 5 seconds, or 4.5 seconds. Very good. Who is that McLaren? That's Sierra Smoky. Valid again. Here's this Joe 7, also invalid. Ollie, also invalid. I will send you an invite, Blap. I will send you an invite. There you go, you've been invited. Is anyone gonna set a valid lap? Like, Russell will set a valid lap, and it's a 50.7. Okay, that's actually alright. And now, Griever, who is washed, to be honest. No line, 17.2. Retire. I'm being mean, but I'm pretty sure his wrist is in like the maximum amount of pain possible, so I can't be a hater too much. Joe has invalidated Inter's Championship again, which I think means that Alu wins Inter's Championship. Haas. The funny one. It's not Fox smash my door. Anyway, now Sierra Smoky coming across the line to... Jesus, why do I even do this if I can't speak English properly? They're coming across the line to finish their hot lap at 18.5. Is anyone else on the lap? Gruber's on a lap, but he's 5 temps down apparently, and he's on mediums. And that is the... Look at this train. There's 3 drivers on that lap. So I think one of them just on a cooldown lap. The one was on the in lap, I think that was Russell. So Surio here starting a hot lap, and behind them is CRF Red Panda, who I'm not quite sure why they didn't just slow down more to not, you know, avoid getting blocked on the hot lap. However, suboptimal, I won't lie, suboptimal 3-turn 1 from Red Panda. Into the second chicane now, takes a bit too much curve there. I don't think I'd do that, and I believe this is Tamburello, so into Tamburello. A long left-hander, nearly bends the car. We don't talk about when I did that, and I'm gonna act like I didn't do that, so... You know. Jesus Christ. And the lap is invalid, so now we will switch to Syria, who isn't on an invalid lap, but will catch 2 cars in the traffic, and appears to be lagging. And Russell is disconnected. Just for activity, invalid lap. Kai is on an invalid lap. Griever's on a valid lap, but I'm pretty sure he's just doing laps for the sake of doing laps, because he's on 100% ERS and he's on medium tyres. I'd say he must have forgot it's the race, but if it was the race, he'd already be on the hard tyre, so... I need to invite Russell again. Ah, my heart. I loved her. Wah. Just wanna watch the qualifying, eh? Alright. I'm gonna ride on board with Rebel. Rebel never fails. Rebel is, in fact, the GOAT. The best driver you've ever seen. And I'm pretty sure Rebel is actually quite good at Imola. So, let's just hope I don't get proven wrong here. Because I am the #1 Rebel fan ever. I will support Rebel until the end of time, because Rebel is my favourite driver on the grid. 50.5. I mean, I think the pole time is 50.1, so it's only 3 points off. 3 tenths off. Yeah, the quickest sector one we've seen so far, I think. So, I mean, it looks like quite a clean lap from Rebel. However, I haven't been riding on board. I've been going off board because, quite frankly, I think the off board looks better. Yeah, Rebel now crosses the line. It comes across for a 16.5. Rebel can do better than that, and I never thought Rebel can do better. Because setting that this early in the session, Rebel can be off for 15.9 probably. But obviously, no one could challenge Flov right now. 14.6. It's a bit of a crazy lap, you know. Compared to everyone else here, that'd be crazy. Kai comes across the line for 15.5. That puts him up to P3. And then Ollie comes across the line with a 14.1, beating Flov's time. I think we know where these two are going. Oh man. Anyway, Joe is going to come across the line now to finish his lap. Keeping it quite clean for the front two corners, but doesn't hit the apex on the final corner. So that could come to cost him, and it's 16.2, so yeah, that's definitely cost him a bit, because Joe's not that slow. Joe is quick, and I know he is. Titch is only about a lap. Titch making his return to CBRL after last season scoring, I think it was 2 points, which for someone who only did about 3 races, that isn't too bad. Sierra Fred Panda here at the end of a hot lap, but below 10% ERS, that's going to come to cost them. And nearly beating the car again, I'm just taking a lot of curb. That doesn't help with your lap time, and also I don't even know what to say. Griever is on a lap again. Is he still on the same medium tyres? He's still on the same medium tyres. This is usual Griever. I don't know why I was. Apparently he's gone purple sector 1 though. I don't believe that. 6 lap old mediums, and the pole time is a 14.1. Yeah, right. He's gone purple again. Line 3, Pasic here. I don't know if that was a bad exit or just going slow. So 14 seconds down. Yeah, it's just definitely going slow. So I'll keep running on ball with Griever, I guess. Actually, no, I'll look on Titch and I'll have a look at Griever, because Titch is about to finish the lap. And Titch also struggling with the curbs, so that might be something to look out for with Fritz, because we've seen about 4 people struggle with the curbs. If Titch comes across for 17.0, that does put him in B10, but Griever could easily beat that now on the old mediums. He does, as a matter of fact, 16.6. That puts on to P9. Pasic down to P10 with a 16.7. Look, there's 5 minutes left of the session. Why are you on into this? I also regret to inform you that you don't even win in this championship because Ali did better. Titch isn't going to improve, neither is Griever, but no one's out on track, so B-roll footage of Griever. I'm going to use this for a TikTok when I choose to make them. In other words, I won't. Okay, I need to start thinking, because yeah, Rabon on that lap. But Sierra Smokey starting a lap, I believe. Yeah, starting a lap. Look at that, guys. Okay, well, need to use my brain. Red Panda obviously on about it lap, Blow Up coming into the pit lane, and Suryo a bit further into their lap than Smokey, so let's stick on board with Suryo here. Once again in reserve. I think only 5 of the full-time drivers are racing, but I'm pretty sure there's only about 6 full-time drivers anyway, so the turnout's actually pretty decent. Okay, Suryo crosses the line for a 16.3. Rebel about to start his lap. Rebel is about to start his lap. I get to watch more Rebel. Let's go. Griever is still out there with medium tires. If Griever doesn't do well in the race, I'm going to be very disappointed because he's been on their medium tires literally since the beginning of time. Back when we were doing Season 1, Belgium, he was on the medium tires in Imola qualifying for D2. Back in pre-season, Portimao, Season 1, he was still in Imola qualifying on the mediums. Yeah, Rabble coming through Tamburello now. Keeping it very clean, however, snap on the exit, that's not going to help his lap time. Coming into these double left-handers here, very quick corners. You want to try and keep as much speed as you can through here for the double right-handers, which you want to make sure you have speed into. You got to slow down and you got to carry a lot of speed out of it. Very easy to spin there. Leclerc chicane coming up for Rabble. Rabble 3 temps down. Probably most of that coming from the step he had at CBRL. Keeps it quite clean through the chicane, so that could gain him back a lot of time. He had quite a messy exit on his other lap, but getting on the grass, that's not going to help him. And Pasic in the other Red Bull retiring, I believe crashing into the wall, very unfortunate for him. Joe 7 behind Rabble on an outlap. Rabble slowing down on his lap, I believe, here. Based off how much the Red Bull behind him gained. So we will switch to Joe, who's about to start his lap. So instead, I will go to Ramo. Because Ramo also is on his lap, so it doesn't matter. Kai about to start his lap. Who is on a lap? No one's on a lap. And Rebel has just been this lap, so Rebel isn't going to improve. And Rebel has spun it. This is very sad, this is very sad. I am in tears, I am in tears. Rebel has hit the wall. So, who is actually on a lap? Ramo is on the lap, Joe is on the invalid lap, Flov is on a lap, Ollie is on a lap, Smokey on a lap, Reaver's on a lap, but it doesn't matter what he's going to do because he's still on a medium tyre. Joe is on a lap, and I think he's about to finish this lap as well. Apparently he's 6 temps up. What's that? 50.6? No, 50.4, isn't that? Blow Up now retired. And Joe comes across the line for a 50.3. Sticking on board with Ramo now. And someone gets a 5-place grid penalty. I did not see that. And so I don't know. I can't talk about it if I didn't see it happen. But Ramo coming to the end of his lap now. Helmet is blue for the Alpine. Driving the blue and pink Alpine. And after seeing the Alpine IRL, this livery's grown on me a lot. And Ramo improves for 14.9, so that puts him up to P3 right now. Qualifying has ended, so these will be people's final laps. Kai Parker coming to the line, 15.2. Joe can't improve. The other Joe might be able to improve, however. Falov coming across the line now. Probably going to improve, but by how much? Only a 10th, 14.5. Ollie coming into the pit lane now. Didn't improve either. Only Joe can take pole here, but I don't think there's a time in it for him. I just don't know if he can take the pole position. Obviously, both the other Joe and Griever can take Griever cross. No chance of him taking it on the medium tyres. Now Joe is 7 here. It is a 14.4 to be fair, but untouchable lap from Ollie. It's actually a really good lap. And Ramo now going to be the person to finish the qualifying session, but we already saw Ramo's lap. There's literally no chance of him even improving. He doesn't have the ERS for it, and he probably would have backed out at the beginning of the lap anyway. It's just a cruise lap. So yeah, I need to start using my brain, and I've probably said that about 3 times already. Yeah, this is your qualifying order. Ollie in the Alfa Romeo takes pole with a 14.1, followed by Joe in the Red Bull with a 14.4, 3 tenths off. Fulov in the Aston Martin, also 3 tenths off, and then Ramo, a gap of nearly 8 tenths, 14.9. Then Kai in the Mercedes, Joe in the Ferrari, Russell in the Aston Martin, Surio in the Alfa Romeo, Rabel in the Ferrari out-qualifies Griever, once again, washed, retire, El Rimbozo. Pasic in the Red Bull in P11, Titch in P12, Smokey P13, Red Panda P14, and Blurp, who only participated in Inter's Championship in P15. War a lap. Let's see if people abide by the 2-minute break rule, as we were already up at 6:58 GMT. Blurp has left the session. Very cool from him. Enjoy the race strategy. One second, I need to like factory reset or something. But. What if I did invite you back, Blurp, and made it so you can't sleep? What if I send people to your house to ensure that you can't sleep? I just send people to bust in your door. I just fucking bang. They're gonna come to your house with shovels and beat you up, just so that way you can't sleep. Waiting for players. Need to invite Kai again. And it is now 6:58, meaning that you can ready up if you want to. And Kai has joined. Let's go. However, he's going to be an AI off the start, which means he's going to get a really good getaway off the line and maybe even jump the start, but no strategy. Couldn't make any last setup changes to front wing, brake bias, or tyre pressure. So, he just better hope the AI knows what it's doing. Blup, I'm going to send people to your house to beat you with a shovel. Just to make sure you can't sleep. Have fun, GG Bozo. And it's lights out and away we go. And Ollie gets a good getaway off the line. So does Joe. Joe actually getting a better getaway off the line than Ollie in the second part of the lap. So we will see a side-by-side into turn 1. Possibly even 3 wide. No, we won't. But Ollie maintains the P1 as it comes to the back. Flav maintaining the P3, but Joe all the way up into P4. Ali falling on to P5. Grieve up into P6. Kai in P7. As we see Rabble and Pasic, I believe, colliding and spinning. Very unfortunate for them. They're going to be down the grid. Suryo, Ghosted, obviously not connected, and Titch down here in P11. Russell, who also seems to be ghosted. It looks like in AI mode, yeah, definitely. Red Panda in P9, but making a mistake there. And I'm going to have a look at these gaps, so that way I know where the battle is. The battle is actually for P2 right now, because Joe's just made a mistake and it's gone off track. I believe Rama getting a track limits warning there. We could see Flav try and go down the inside of Joe, but just not close enough into the Leclerc chicane. So we see what happened. We see what happened. Joe might go for a move on Flav, because Flav can't go for the move on the other Joe. That's a crikey. Looks like, well, this is a train of 7 cars battling for P1, but it looks a bit Ollie on the medium tyre is going to pull away despite the car behind him being on the soft tyre. 2 of the cars behind him on the soft tyre, but Joe cranks moving on to P3, overtaking Flav. That's my goat right there. That's my goat. Rabble overtaking Titch and Pasic, who both pit, I assume, to get new front wing, so Rabble moving away up to P12, but only 2 people who have pitted. Kai stuck behind Grieber. Grieber, I believe, running no line, so we could see some extremely washed manoeuvring here from him. But it looks like everything's just largely calmed down for now. I don't particularly think we're going to see Ollie be challenged, but I don't think we're going to see Cranks catch up to the other Joe. So it's really just going to be a battle between Cranks and Flav, and based off the exit Flav's have there, he went for a look down the inside, didn't go for the move at the Leclerc chicane. Kai Parker getting past Griever now, but cutting the corner. So, and I believe getting the position back, probably an illegal overtake, maybe even a mistake on braking from Kai. But there's 2 mugs dropping out of DRS, but it's a 6 and 7 here in the preseason. Ramo just chilling up behind Flav and Joe, probably trying to make the most of just what's going on. Recharge some of the batteries, save the soft tyre, try and make the strategy work. Flav in the slipstream of Joe Cranks here, we could see him go for a move into turn 1. Slipstream, very effective for him. Has a great camera angle, by the way, again. And he will, in fact, try and go down the inside of turn 1, but Crank's just so much better in the braking into turn 1. Flav not angling the best angle into turn 1. Joe maintains the position. I need to choose whether I'm going to call Joe or Joe Cranks. Ollie actually getting a 3-second time penalty. So that could be a thing we see here. Ollie pulling off into the distance, but not able to maintain the track limits, which could give Joe the win. Smokey, as a matter of fact, also getting a track limits penalty. The 2 mucks have now caught up to this battle for P3 between Flav and Ramo, and also Cranks. Flav trying to go down the inside of Cranks here into the double right-hander. Hits into Cranks, forcing him off track maybe. And Ramo slides his way through. Why am I dying right now? Why of all time now am I dying? And also, why is my internet seeming to be dying as well? It's great fun. Yeah, I'm going to sit on board with Joe here, as Ali will be in the slipstream for Flav on the first DRS straight. It's the first time we will see DRS active this race, but it won't be the last time. But Ali not getting a great exit there, it seems. Yeah, dropping half a tenth there on the exit, but DRS should make up for that. But I don't think he's going to get particularly close to Flav. I think Flav will be able to pull away from him. Rabble 1 getting past Russell, who I believe is still in AI, so Rabble makes his way into the points. Oh, fuck. Joe, I think Cranks actually made a real mistake there. Cranks falling down to P7, dropping behind Griever and Kai. Griever once again dropping out the DRS of Flav and Ramo. So not only his teammates a battle, but Kai is just stuck in that 7/10 range for Griever. Can't really make an overtake happen, but can't really fall out of the DRS either. Ali looks for a move on Flav just outside of Samparella going into double left-hander. Can't make it into double right-hander. Ali definitely not going to be close enough to make a move on Flav. But he's still going to be sat there in the background, and I cannot even tell what's going on with him. Yellow flags we see here. Ramos actually spun That is an actual thing from him. Joe finds his way back into P6. Smokey might actually be able to overtake Ramo for P7 here. He's going to have such overspeed on the exit, but Ramo, going so slow, can brake a lot better than Smokey, maintain the position. But because Smokey might have the DRS, we might not be we might not be seeing Alu maintain that position. Red Panda now getting a 3-second time penalty, and Titch 4 track limits. And Kai within 3/10 of Griever here could be passing him with the DRS. We'll try and move Danny inside. I don't think Griever's going to fight that. He's going to try and avoid any collisions with his teammate, especially in preseason when you need to make the difference. Joe and Alu pitting, going to the pit lane. Possibly for wing damage. Alu going in for new tyres. Joe maybe getting a new front wing that I didn't get onto it quick enough to see. But there's only really 2 battles here. It's Rabble versus Red Panda and Griever versus Kai. And it's quite clear that Rabble has just been able to keep himself consistent, and that's what's given the edge over Red Panda. But the gap to the car in front, Smokey, is 10 seconds for Rabble. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that up even by the time the race ends. Because it's only 22 laps. Which, I mean, 22 laps is a decent amount, but when you're that far back, you need a bit of a miracle. Kai Parker now getting a 3-second time penalty. We get a great view of that from Griever's car. What is my controller doing? Yeah, Griever now is going to be close enough to maybe look for an overtake on his teammate with a DRS. We could just see him swapping and swapping and swapping. You know, DRS training, maybe trying to catch up to Flov, but Flov has such a gap to Kai. But Joe has such a gap to Flov, and Ollie has such a gap to Joe that we're not going to see any more battles from those. That's pretty much put this race to bed, unless one of them crashes, which it's always a possibility, but it's not something you expect to happen. Griever not getting close enough to Kai to make the difference here, but one thing Griever Jesus Christ, I need to learn to speak English. One thing Griever is good at here in Imola is he knows the racing line, he knows the corners. He just needs to figure out the braking points when he's on no line. Because he knows when he needs to turn the car and he knows where to position his car. Jesus Christ, my braces are so annoying. Titch is actually caught up to the ghostly car of Syria now. So Titch will shortly get past them, but that doesn't matter to us. Because they aren't. It's not a real battle. One of them's a ghost, I don't care. The real battle we could see though is Ramo catching up to Titch, but for now we're going to stick on board with Griever and Kai. Griever getting closer to Kai than he was last lap. Will he be close enough to go for an overtake? Maybe. As a matter of fact, I believe they've gained on Flov as well. Griever will be close enough to go for an overtake, but great camera angle. Kai just seeming to let him through, which very smart maneuver from the Merc teammates. And they've actually managed to get within 1.7 seconds of Flov, but Griever making a massive mistake, massive oversteer. Nearly bends the car, very lucky to save it. Joe now getting a 3-second time penalty. The only member of the top 3 to not have a time penalty is Flov, and only 2 people in the top 5 to not have a time penalty. Definitely a few people in this race with track limits penalties. Ramo now getting past the ghostly car of Russell and going side by side with Titch. So this is the battle, both of them with DRS. It's going to be a battle of who's the better straight line speed and who's going to be better in the corners. Ramo cutting the corner a bit. That's going to slow him down. Ramo on the hard tyres, Titch on the medium tyre. Titch better braking. Allows him to keep the position. But for how much longer? Because Ramo is right behind him and is making the most of that slipstream right now. And just seems to have better corner grip as well on the hard tyre, despite the advantages that the medium tyre gives you. And Titch makes a mistake. That's Ramo going down the inside at Tamburello, but Ramo can't make the move work. The worst exit due to having to take a tighter line in response. He's going to have to sit behind here for the double left-hander and possibly for the double right-hander unless he wants to try something really aggressive. It could be really dangerous. Joe now getting past Russell. Could be catching up to this fight. Kai going to the pit lane now, so Griever getting past him. Joe not too far off this fight, but Ramo going to go down the inside of Titch into Leclerc corner, but actually chooses to back out of the Leclerc chicane. But Titch and Ramo have now caught up to Red Panda. Red Panda making a few mistakes we've seen this race, but it's not over until it's over. That's what they say, I guess. I don't say that though. It's definitely Jova for some people. Titch and Red Panda make a mistake on exit. Red Panda making another mistake, so does Titch. Ramo gets around the outside of the final corner of Titch, and with the DRS will try and get through on Red Panda. Red Panda definitely making a few mistakes on the turning, but Ramo with the DRS advantage and the ERS will just try and cruise past Red Panda. Red Panda getting passed by Ramo. Tries to defend but makes a mistake. And now Titch gets past. Joe tries to get past but just gets caught up behind Red Panda. Titch making a mistake on the exit of turn 3. And Joe stuck behind Red Panda here. That's not going to be advantageous for him. He knows he's so much quicker, but he can't do it. Red Panda making another mistake. Joe going to try and go down the inside to Tamburello, but Red Panda covering off. Joe still continues to move, gets onto the car, but still makes the move work. And Red Panda now into the wall at Tamburello. Smashes the advertisement board for Rolex. Not a fan of the watches, I guess. Loses 3 positions on the span of pretty much 1 lap. Ramo, Titch and Joe here. Joe catching up to Titch. Titch making a few mistakes now on the medium tyres. I don't think they would have gone off. I just think Titch bit unsettled by what's been happening this race. And now Joe gets past Titch into the Leclerc chicane. Titch possibly ending up a re-overtake, but makes a mistake on the exit, nearly binning the car. And that gives Joe such a better exit that it's going to come down to DRS straight. And Titch, I think, clearly has a much lower downforce setup, but it's the corners. The corners where Joe has just such an advantage. It doesn't matter what's happening when it comes to the straights, because look at this, Titch now with the DRS flap open, but 3 temps gained, but even through turn 1, he's losing 4 attempts now. Obviously, he did make a slight mistake, and he's made another mistake out of turn 3. We've seen a bit of oversteer here. We saw oversteer for Griever. Now we see oversteer for Titch. We've seen that twice now. And Titch making a mistake into the second chicane. Into the second chicane. That's put that battle. Night. So now there's no battles because Kai already pit and went away from Griever. Did Fluff make a mistake? Fluff made a mistake. Griever is now on the podium. Who let this happen? Stop this. Put an end to Griever being on the podium. He doesn't deserve it. But we see Kai actually approaching up to Rabble. Does Kai have the DRS on Rabble? No, Kai does not have the DRS on Rabble. So Rabble will have to get this move done normally if he wants to, you know, not risk losing any time. But obviously very, very, very hard to make an overtake here at Imola. But I don't think that's going to stop Kai from trying into the second chicane. There's such a run on Rabble. Tries to have a look down the inside into the second chicane. Doesn't get it. But on the exit of the second chicane, around the outside into Tamburello, such better braking than Rabble. Rabble's going to take a tighter line. Try and prioritize exit maybe, but it doesn't matter. Kai goes completely around the inside. A great maneuver from Kai Parker here. But Rabble close up behind and getting a great slipstream. Straight line speed as well. Very good for Rabble here, but obviously we've seen corners completely destroy battles and completely destroy pace. And I think we're going to see it again here. As, yeah, Rabble's dropped 8 temps now to Kai. Another battle that's been put to bed. Pasek passing the ghosted car of Surio and about to pass the ghosted car of Russell as well. Flov and Joe pitting. Titch getting another 3-second time penalty for track limits. Pasek 8 seconds behind Smokey. Red Panda, I believe, pitting at the end of that lap. Maybe trying to get an undercut done. Or maybe just not liking the tyres anymore after all the mistakes. Kai will pass Flov. Rabble will pass Flov as well. Flov's mistake very costly. Will Ramo get past Flov, who's coming out of the pit lane just now? We see Flov there in the Aston Martin. We see Ramo. Ramo's just not close enough to get the move done. But Ramo will be right up behind Flov. Flov on the cold tyres. Easy to make a mistake. Easy to lock up. Easy to spin. So we're going to have to see how calm Flov takes it now on this exit. Because for all the pace he has, that one mistake that seemed to happen was costly. And there's another mistake on the exit. Not a major one. It's still a mistake. Titch with another 3-second time, but that brings his total up to 9 seconds. But Ramo now behind Flov. 4.5 tenths the gap. If he can maintain that gap onto the straight, he could be looking at himself at a nice and easy DRS overtake. But Flov on the fresher tyres, on the fresher hard tyre as well. He's getting so much gap. Joe overtaking Kai Parker now. Joe on the fresher tyres than Kai Parker. But Kai will have the DRS, and he's deploying a fair bit of DRS as well. Probably trying to slow Joe down, as he knows that his teammate Griever has also pit. There's a chance that he can slow him down that just enough that Griever will come out ahead of both of them. Obviously, Kai and Joe on the undercut, Griever on the overcut, as is Ollie. But the undercut not working, the undercut working really well on you for Joe and Kai Parker. So for the undercut working well for Rabble as well. Rabble is going to pass. Rabble is going to pass Griever, who's in the pit lane. Flov won't pass Griever, but Flov will be right up behind Griever as well. Something that we saw of Ramo not being able to make the most of what was happening. Smokey catching up to Titch. Smokey will have the DRS and will go for the move around Titch. Titch very slow on the straight without the DRS. And Smokey easily passes him up to P9. Smokey goes. Flov now 6 tenths behind Griever. Obviously Griever on the 1 lap fresher tyres. Joe now with a 3-second time penalty. And obviously not even catching up to Ramo anymore. But Ramo is outside of the DRS of Flov. So the current battles we have right now, Joe versus Kai, Griever versus Flov, and that could become Griever and Flov versus Rabble. Because Rabble, he got the undercut, but now his tyres are worn. He's going to be acting like a bit of a mobile chicane for the 2 quicker drivers. But also, he's Rabble, a very hard driver to pass, and I know that from my own experience. And based off what I'm seeing, we could see just the drivers collide in terms of paths, because Flov gaining so much on Griever and Griever gaining so much on Rabble. But this is what makes a difference. Griever has to get past Rabble, and so does Flov. Because Rabble could slow down Flov so much. Griever will easily pass Rabble here. But Rabble's actually making the most of his straight line speed. Actually puts up a great defense for half of the DRS straight. Flov now will try and make a move go down the inside of Rabble. Rabble backing out, not trying to hold him up. But Flov making a few mistakes. Rabble could try and go back through, but no, Rabble backing out. Obviously not going for a collision. 5 seconds high padding for Titch, speeding in the pit lane. But Flov now has dropped an entire second to Griever. He's going to have to gain that time back, and he's gaining that time back, but obviously Griever has that 1 lap tire advantage, and now he has the time advantage. Flov can't be affording any more mistakes, whereas Griever, all he has to do is just continue what he's doing. If Titch makes 1 mistake, he's done for. But obviously everyone else with a really large gap. Ramo now with a 2-second time penalty behind Rabble. But just not close enough to make a move into the clear chicane, but Rabble's a mobile chicane. Ramo not getting a better exit, but just in the braking zone had so much more over Rabble. Into the final 2 corners now, a double left-hander. Ramo gaining so much mid-corner on Rabble. Rabble not to get the best line either, and Ramo will get a better exit on the inside. Doesn't even wait for the corner to end before trying to make that move on Rabble, and gets it done before the DRS straight. As Rabble actually goes into the pit lane, something not working with the tyres, maybe front wing damage, we don't know. Flov has gained a fair bit of time back on Griever, but you know, a 10th, nothing to be scoffed at, but Griever's maintaining that position, and Kai finds himself flying high in P3 somehow. Griever 8 seconds behind his teammate. The undercut working wonders for Kai here. But 8 laps left in this race. We could still see something happen. I believe Red Panda's ghosted. Probably just made a mistake. Pasek entering the pit lane now, so that brings Titch up to P10. So despite pitting recently, Titch and Rabble find themselves on the points somehow. And Flov, who's made a mistake, who made that mistake earlier, very costly, finds himself 9 tenths off Griever. This could be the end of him. He just might not be able to pass Griever. Griever might have such a tire advantage. He might just be able to keep himself cool, calm and collected. That this gap he has over Flov, even though Flov has a DRS, it just might not be enough for Flov to get past him. Flov has actually gained a lot in the DRS zone, so it will all depend on turn 1 and pretty much the rest of the track, because there's no other DRS zones. The DRS zone is really the only place you want to be making a move. It's the safest part, it's the only part that won't lose you a lot of time. And you see the ghosted cars being lapped now, perhaps colliding. Joe cranks down the pit lane. Going on soft tyres, I assume, trying to take the fastest lap. See 2 other drivers also in the pit lane, trying to take the fastest lap. And Joe will come up behind his teammate Rabble. Rabble could boost Joe up here and get him the fastest lap, but is it going to be worth it? That's the real question. And Flov very close up to Griever now. All of these lap cars If only these lap counts were a little bit closer, Griever could get himself DRS out of the final corner. But the ghosted car here of Russell just going a bit too slow, but Griever might have actually managed to steal himself a bit of DRS. That will keep him in this fight for another lap. We will have to see though what happens with Griever. Did he get the DRS off the lap car, or was he just a bit too close to get the DRS? Obviously DRS opening now. Griever does have the DRS, so does Fluff. Fluff only has a slipstream advantage over Griever, but it doesn't matter. Because Griever got that DRS, he can hang on for another lap. Fluff won't be able to pass him on this DRS straight. He might have to make a move at a different place, because clearly Fluff has pace over Griever right now, but I don't think it's enough to get past normally. I think he needs that DRS, and once he's got past him, he'll just fly through. But again, another car that's going to be lapped, this time an actual human player, CRF Red Panda, ahead of Griever here. If Griever can hold on for just that little bit longer, he can steal DRS again and keep himself ahead. But Red Panda, we've seen, made a few mistakes. Well, not just a few, many mistakes in the previous laps, and making mistakes again and again and again. Obviously not the best track here for Red Panda, but still in this race, still a chance of making something out of the preseason. But is making a mistake on the Leclerc chicane. Griever won't get the DRS off them. Neither will Flav. Flav doesn't need it because he's got DRS off Griever. As a matter of fact, he might even need a DRS off Griever to make this move on. He's going to try and go down the inside into the final two corners. Can't get through though. Has to back out, slot back in behind Griever. However, he will have the DRS on Griever. Griever going to exit out the final corner, but that doesn't matter because Titch is so close, and with the DRS slipstream, he's just going to speed right past. Looky here. Just flying past around the outside of the turn one. Griever's probably not going to try and go back down the inside. He knows it's not going to be smart. So instead he backs out, slots in behind Flav, but Flav gaining 4.5 temps, 5 temps already in the first 3 times he's got past Griever. As I said, once he's passed, he's probably going to fly away. Griever getting 2 seconds on his teammate across that entire stint. So now it's Flav's job to catch up to Kai. But 5 laps to go now. Has Kai given himself a big enough gap to maintain from Flav, or is Flav going to catch up? And will Flav bring Griever along, and will he get himself into 2-1? Frank's now second the fastest lap with a 1:16.594 on the soft tyre. And Frank's will actually catch up to his teammate Joe. No, not Joe, Rabble. Joe will catch up to his teammate Rabble not too long from now. I don't even know if I'm in the right position now. I can't tell. I don't know what's my mic sounding like. I don't know what's but I'll just have to figure out. Griever is actually in the range to get the re-overtake on Flav using the DRS, but Flav might defend really, really hard from Griever, trying not to lose that position because he's gained 7 temps on Kai already. Obviously, he needs to go quicker than that to catch up to him by the end of the race. And Griever will try and get past Flav around the outside of the tail 1, but he's going to have a better braking line. Flav has to back out, but Flav still tries to go down the inside. Flav gets the move done. Griever hits into Flav, spinning himself around. But I don't think it's going to matter too much to Griever. He does have a big gap to the cars behind him. However, Ramo is actually Ramo's sprinting rapidly. But Griever is able to get himself back going very quickly. Joe Crank's now catching up to his teammate Rabble at the end of lap 17 for them, but we are on lap 18 already. Ollie is. Not we, Ollie. Just Ollie. But that DRS not making a bit of a difference for Joe. Not gaining a lot. You see yellow flags again. It's CRF Red Pandas falling to the bottom grid, making another mistake, I assume. But Griever's gap now to Fluff, 12 seconds. Ramo's gap to Griever, 2 seconds, but the pace seemingly not there for Ramo right now. Because Griever's managed to maintain that gap despite his tyres. Not going to be in the best position after what's been happening. So let's have a look at Joe and Rabble. Obviously, 2 teammates, you don't want to battle too hard with your teammate. Because that's costly. And it could cause you to collide. See, they're not in the highest point paying positions. And Joe's been higher this race. And Rabble's nearly caught up to Smokey now. The gap only 2.5 seconds. But you know, Joe Crank's close up behind Rabble. 7 attempts the gap, but I just don't think he's close enough to get the DRS overtake. But the gap actually falls on to 4.5 attempts in the final 2 corners, so we could see Joe go for the overtake. use up all of his ERS though. Rabel's used up all of his ERS too. Actually, I'm trying to defend from his teammate and trying to catch up to CR Smokey, but Joe can't get past Rabel, gets very close up behind but just can't do it. And Rabel can't catch up to Smokey fully, but Rabel does get a better exit than his teammate, but so much grip on the braking for Joe and just not as much as his teammate for Rabel. But they are still catching up to Sierra Smokies on the medium tyre compared to the two Ferraris on the soft tyre. And Joe at Tamburello has a little look down the inside, but decides to back out into the double left-handers and the double right-handers. Wouldn't be smart for him to go for a move here. You can see yellow flags again. It's Titch and Pasic who I believe have collided. We're going to have to have a look at that in the FIA room to understand what's happened. But Rabel has now got up to Smokey, and Joe right behind his teammate Rabel. It might be smart for Joe here to not put any pressure on Rabel, just chill behind for now, and let them both get past Smokey. Joe making a mistake out of a Leclerc chicane as well, so he's not going to be able to challenge Rabel for a fair amount of time now. But both Franks and Rabel don't have any ERS, neither does Smokey. So we're going to see Rabel probably use up a lot of his DRS. We're going to see Smokey use up a fair amount of DRS too, but Rabel's just going to have the DRS over Smokey. Rabel's going to get past. He did make a slight better contact. Joe up behind Smokey now. Joe's going to have the better line than Smokey. Smokey actually lets Joe past, it seems. Flop for the 3-second time penalty. And 9.5 seconds the gap to Kai. Kai's pretty much secured the podium with only 3 laps to go. Joe 5 temps behind his teammate Rabel. Once again into Tamburello. Very close up behind his teammate, but you just can't be making moves there, especially when you're not that close. There's no particularly hard braking zones. The hardest braking zones you get, turn 1 and the Flash King. But turn 1 is the only place really to go for a move, because at the Flash King it tightens up so much you can't go side by side. You have to just assume that you've got so far ahead the other person is forced to back out. Even then you could compromise your exit and get a real take it. And so you just have to make the move at turn 1. It's the only real place you want to make a move, especially against your teammate. As Joe now this time doesn't make mistakes in the Flash King, gains a fair bit of time. But Rabel has such straight line speed over Joe, probably deploying that the difference on exit doesn't matter to him. All that matters is staying ahead right now. Ollie moving on to lap 21 of 22. 2 laps left for the Alfa Romeo side. Ollie has just gapped the field by so much, 13 seconds to Joe, and Joe's a 4-second gap to Kai. Rabel will go around the outside of, Joe will go around the outside of Rabel into turn 1, and Rabel has to back out. Joe makes the move stick, but Rabel could still get past his teammate into the second chicane. Rabel braking so much earlier than Joe into Tamburello. This will make the real difference, and the real difference is that Franks maintains the position as we now see Sierra Red Panda battling with the ghosted car of Sirius. Actually, Sirius not in this race, Red Panda who actually is in this race. Joe Cranks catching up to Red Panda, but Red Panda might get passed by Joe Cranks so much sooner that he doesn't get the DRS. Rabel will have the DRS regardless, assuming he can stay within that 1 second range of his teammate Joe. But they've got 16 seconds to Ramo, and Ramo's actually spun, however, out of the final corner, so that's going to be costly for him. Tyres are going to be gone, a bit overheated, and confidence is going to be drained. But there's not too long left in this race. Ollie is approaching the final parts of this lap. It's just updated to say we're on lap 22 as well. This might even be Ollie's final lap. I'm not quite sure, but we are going to ride on board with the Alfa Romeo driver, who's coming to the end of their race. Completely dominated as well, 14.5 seconds the gap to the car behind the Red Bull of Joe. But currently it's all about Ollie coming across the line in the Alfa Romeo. 14-second gap, wins the race, wins the first ever race of D2, the preseason at Imola. Next car to cross the line will be the Red Bull of Joe, 14.8 seconds behind Ollie. But that gap's surely going to increase to about 15 seconds, 16 seconds. Yeah, 15.1 seconds the gap, but Joe comes across the line to get P2. And Kai Parker will come across the line for P3. Fluff in the Aston Martin with a few costly mistakes, but a lot of people did in this race. Comes across the line for P4. Riva in no line, nearly making a mistake on that exit. Could have been the entire car. Hitch with a 5-second time penalty crossing the line for P11. Pasic crossing the line for P10. Riva gets the P5. Ramo in his beloved P6 position. manages to maintain it despite the spin coming out the final corner, but race isn't fully over yet, but Ramo does actually manage to maintain the P6, finishes the race in P6. Joe Crank's now coming across the line for P7, but does have a 3 seconds penalty, which his teammate Rebel does not, so Rebel will make P7, whereas Joe falls down to P8. Sierra Smokey will round out the points, not falling, just placing himself into P9 on his debut. And that's the end of your race. I mean, not much happened. Big gap pretty much everywhere. I can't lie, but it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, let's go back through the order. Ollie in P1, Joe in P2, Kai Parker in P3, Flov in P4, Griever P5, Ramo P6, Rebel P7, Joe Cranks P8, Smokey P9, and Pasic P10. And the drivers didn't score points. Hitch, Russell, Surya, Red Panda, and Blurp DNFing. Not even completing a lap because he didn't even start the race. And P10 and below, all 1 lap down. And 17 seconds worth of time penalties for the ditch. Ay.